too much clicking in the connection. Connect the dots with my connect for my protection. Face to face, I place my like a drive-through. Feeling, you know how I do. Push.
I done seen the best of them jammed up. 25 to life and they can't stop. Never met a man that they can't talk. We're talking on the phones, they can hear us. 7 in the morning and they in my home. My bank account's froze, what is going on? Why it all start going wrong? From talking on the phone.
Too many handle business on my own, cause you ain't right, and that's I don't condone. I got homies behind the wall wishing they was home. They got jammed up, kept discussing business on the phone.
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, fourth-year quarterback Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on a man back for a 15th NFL season, Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. They come in playing pretty good football, winners of 4 of their last 6 games. On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Now it's Adam Humphries on the return. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They're led out by a man raised in Alabama, went to Florida State. It's their quarterback, Jameis Winston.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. They go play action here on first down. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. The numbers for Evans a week ago: 4 catches, 59 yards.
And he's able to pull that last pass in, but this is usually a pretty tough unit to try and maneuver against. They're in the top 10 in the league against the pass, and you and I both know there's not much difference between 1 and 10.
And that's the first connection, the number 1 overall pick in 2015, finding the number 7 pick in 2014 in Evans.
And what a great target Mike Evans is for Jameis Winston. Winston's a pretty accurate thrower, but that catch radius that Evans provides, that makes him that much more dangerous.
12 yards there as they move the chains. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now a play fake here on first down. Trying to lay one up deep. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. And we get a glance now at the Buccaneer offense.
And Deshaun Jackson is the guy that your eyes naturally gravitate towards because he's a big play waiting to happen. In his career, usually averages about 20 yards a catch. Last season in 2017, closer to 13 yards per catch. Look for him to be recommitted to getting back downfield and catching the long ball.
Ready.
On second down, Winston again. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool him, right? Tried to trick him. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Ready. White 25.
On third down, Winston. And that is incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game. That opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
And New York set to take the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders. That
guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a two-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it second and a foot or so. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. They still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Now the first running back drafted this year, it's Saquon Barkley. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And you remember pre-draft, there's a lot of speculation that the Giants should look for their future quarterback at number 2 with a great possibility. Remember, Sam Darnold from USC was still on the board, but they passed on him to take this runner, Saquon Barkley. And this is exactly why. They think he can extend the life of Eli Manning's career and give them 1,000-yard seasons year after year.
They haven't had a 1,000-yard season since 2012. Ahmad Bradshaw did it then. They'll be brought down at the 21 after a pickup of 4. The Giants and Bucs, these two teams, they met in Week 4 last year in Tampa Bay, and it was Nick Folk with a game-winning field goal, 25-23, and at the time, that sent New York to 0-4.
And how about the last 2 to get them to 0-4? Lost on a 61-yard field goal at the buzzer by Philadelphia kicker Jake Elliott, and then they lose this one to Nick Folk in Tampa.
Yeah, and then, of course, everyone knew the rest of the story, a season that Giant fans would like to forget. Manning going to throw. And he rifles one incomplete. Evan Ingram was the intended target, and that'll make it 3rd down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience. It's early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the...
Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Vernon Hargraves with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Sometimes I think even Eli falls into the trap of thinking that Beckham can catch anything. Here it's a throw he'll wish he could have back, because even OBJ wasn't going to be able to get his hands on that one.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
The first carry here for Jacquizz Rodgers. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable. And you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Now the throw on third down. Knocked away and incomplete. Here's Brian Anger now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. Fielded at about the 28. Shifts past him at the 45. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Giants will begin this drive in good shape. 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Here's a give to Barkley. Maurice Alexander making the stop defensively.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And the line to gain here is the 37 on third down. Manning. It's caught. Shepard. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 11 yards there as they connect on the quick slant. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A first down carry for Barkley. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Manning to throw on 2nd down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Quan Alexander coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Third and long for the Giants, and Eli following the sack. Shotgun now for Manning. He dumps it off to Barkley. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. Give him 9 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Around the NFL, a game going on in Washington. And the Redskins there out to an early lead. Alex Smith, a first-quarter touchdown pass in that one. Well, that hollow metal sound is the bane of any kicker's existence, and here, that sound is going to keep our game scoreless.
And you could see him give that body English as the ball was in the air. Come on, baby, come on. But no dice that time.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Off the play fake, Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Connor Barwin, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop it.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. They go play action. Winston. And he's going to go down again.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Winston. He hits Rodgers in the flat. And he showed a nice little juke, but then the window quickly closed. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Here's Brian Anger now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they were in field goal range the last time out but couldn't connect.
And it's early in the game, so I don't think that the confidence just goes entirely out of, running your kicker back out there. But let's face it, some coaches have a little bit less patience for that than others. Let's see if they call the game differently now in terms of what they do on drives and not try and settle for field goals.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. A first carry for the Clemson man, Wayne Gallman. And he gets this one just shy of the 40 to mark him down at the 39. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Now they'll throw it with Manning. To Shepard, complete over the middle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
So a solid run by Saquon Barkley, and another 1st and 10 here. Throwing on first down is Manning. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
On 2nd down, they run with Stewart. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on run downs. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
The Giants on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Manning turns and gives this to Gallman. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
After the field goal, here's Rosas to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the inline. Now this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. And a lot of times you talk about establishing the ground game. Probably something they need to do more of here, losing in the second quarter.
When you're riding your best horse, you've got to lather him up. The best running backs I've ever talked to, they've all said the exact same thing to me. I'll even break a good sweat until I get to 20 carries.
You're full of good wisdom. Let's see if they can get him into the game more now. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
The Bucs on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. Here's Brian Anger now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at about the 14. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Giants' drive will start from deep in their territory with a 1st and 10. Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. Second quarter, a guy like him, no catches, so that's the surprising part. But they're winning, so maybe they've been able to do some other things effectively, I guess.
And they found other ways, haven't they? Because the receivers would tell you, offense needs to run through us, but they're managing to get it done in this ball game without having to actually do that. I wouldn't expect him to stay silent for the rest of the game, though.
Yeah, you got to think that his first catch is coming at some point. They'll start out on the ground, and Saquon Barkley, and he'll find some space up to about the 25. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Manning to throw on 2nd down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Quan Alexander in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
They fake the handoff. Now Manning. And incomplete here on 3rd down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
1st down, Winston. And this one caught by Cameron Brate. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have a really difficult...
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Hearing this one out for him. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans, 85 yards. And the Bucs are able to strike for 6. And Charles, I had an offensive coordinator tell me one time that they design every play to score. I don't know how true that is, but he had to run a long way after that catch. Heck of a play.
I think that when he was telling you that, he was designing run after catch in every play. I mean, that's the only way to put it in there, and that's what we got on that one. Nice catch, an even better run for big yardage.
Here's Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point. Extra point good by Catanzaro, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Eli Manning getting ready to go again on offense. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
On 3rd down, Barkley. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
Here we go on 4th down with Manning. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Mitch on Ryan. Breaking through to get him for a loss of 7. And a look now at the game so far for Jameis Winston. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room?
Yeah.
Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter. I mean, what's going on here? You owe some explanations.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Winston from the gun on 3rd down. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Kareem Martin in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down. 1:59 to go in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. They begin with a run by Barkley. And he'll get this across midfield to the 48. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Clock rolling as the Giants will hurry to the line. A handoff to Barkley. And some space here. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Zebra.
Now a play fake. Manning. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Manning. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On 3rd and long, it's Manning. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the 2nd quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And a pretty little juke move there on a nice game. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Evans has it left side. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. 1st and 10 right at the 20. From the red zone now, Winston. His throw caught at about the 5. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Mike Evans in the final seconds of the first half. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it's all finished off with a touchdown by Tampa Bay. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. One final try now for Manning. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Buccaneers out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin in the NFC. Dallas paying a visit to Atlanta. And it's the Cowboys on top as they play the second quarter. Dak Prescott has thrown a touchdown pass. From there, we'll head up to Indy to check on the Colts at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. And you can see they have the lead over the visiting Tennessee Titans. Andrew Luck has thrown a couple of touchdown passes. Finally, let's get down to the Bayou. Check on the Saints at home at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. And they currently trail the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz has thrown a couple of touchdown passes there. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Around the NFL, second quarter in Atlanta, and it's the Cowboys that have moved down to an early advantage. Dak Prescott, a single touchdown pass to this point in that one. And our players spotlight now as we turn our attention to Eli Manning. And boy, Charles, they have to find a way to just get him some time to breathe back there. He's been pressured throughout this game.
And I'll bet in his mind he's thinking the focus shouldn't be on how many times I've gone down. It's where is it happening? Where are the breakdowns up front? He'll never say it publicly because good leaders don't do that. But they've got to figure out what's happening in the offensive line to keep people away from him so he actually has a chance to throw the football, because so far that has not been the case.
5 full sacks against him.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There was a lot of debate about who was going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it 2 different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain.
He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
You know as well as I do, it's really important to get Odell Beckham Jr. involved early. And that's the first time that Eli Manning was able to find him, and we're in the second half.
You think he and Eli maybe had some words on the sideline, hey, let's get on the same page?
Without a doubt, because they know that that kick starts their team, that gets them going, and now they have to do it again and again.
And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Jason Pierre-Paul. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. To throw, it's Manning. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards on the play. Now Saquon Barkley. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. So those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
On second down, here's Manning. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Evans. It's a foot race. The 20, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
What you just saw there, first-round talent, second year, even more success. A pick 6 for a touchdown.
A great play. And it's tough for these guys, you've told me before, to adjust in the secondary as a first-year guy. So that sophomore season is big for them.
They really started to expand the playbook for them even more. Sometimes they dumb it down a little bit to make them comfortable year 1. By year 2, they should have all the nuances, and now they've adjusted to the speed of NFL play as well.
Showed right there. Point after now from Catanzaro. Extra point good by Catanzaro. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This one fielded at the 5. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So the last one didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too. And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Play action. Manning under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Levante David in there with pressure yet again, and that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Third and long for the Giants, and Eli following the sack. Working from the gun, Manning. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the rest of the offensive unit heading back out there now. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting him, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop.
That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
On second down, it's Jones. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. A gain of a yard gets them back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Ready?
On 3rd down, Winston. He's going to float this one deep right side. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, look credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
So dangerous with a football in his hands. Call that a return of 38. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Gun.
Manning now on 1st down. He's going to go for a big play downfield. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line.
Kill it.
The handoff comes to Stewart. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Well, that field goal block pretty much sums up the day for them, doesn't it?
Boy, it really does. What's the word we often use? Symptomatic. It's just been a sign of how this one's gone.
Give a lot of credit to the guys who got in and blocked the kick. They've had the advantage all game, and they continue to press it.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Winston now hitting on 2/3 of his passes. 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Another carry now for Rodgers. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Alec Ogletree in on the stop.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
To throw is Winston. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. First target, first catch, and a 1st down.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up and able to work his way down to the 16. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked #1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. Here it's 3rd and 2. A give to Jones. A 3-yard gain and enough for the 1st down.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead.
You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
Let's go now. Ready?
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The give is to Jones. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Jameis to throw it. And Winston lost the football. And who's got it? The Giants. The pocket collapsed around him. I know we talk about it a lot, but a QB has to have that sixth sense, doesn't he?
He really does, and I know of one team at one point was training their quarterback with that time frame, and anytime he didn't get rid of the ball within the right amount of time, they would blow a horn or blow a whistle to show him this is what that time is, just what you're talking about, training him to understand this is the amount you have, make sure the ball's gone. It didn't happen in this case.
And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's the Giants with possession of the football, but needing points as we start quarter number 4. Now Manning throwing on 2nd down. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. They give him a gain of 37. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Noah Spence able to get in there and drop him for a 2-yard loss. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throw left side, complete to Ingram. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal. Second and goal from the 1. And Manning keeps it himself. And he is in. Touchdown, Giants. Eli Manning, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Giants are able to cut into this lead.
And the sneak works on 2nd and goal. They didn't wait until it was 4th down to try and get him across.
No, and I think if you're the QB, you like these plays, don't you? I mean, you want to hand it off sometimes, but also prove that you can get it in there as well.
Yeah, it makes you really part of the gang, doesn't it? It makes you part of the crew, and it really bonds you with those big offensive linemen because then you get to celebrate with the big fellas.
Rosas now to kick this one away. Here's Humphreys. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They've got the 2-score lead. Look, though, they fumbled last possession, led to a touchdown. So while things look good here at this stage in the 4th, they got to be careful.
They definitely do because they've actually brought them back into it, haven't they? They've given them hope once again. Their purpose on this drive, squash that hope one more time.
Ready? Black 22.
They go play action here on 1st down. Jackson's got it over the middle. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble.
They don't want it, fellas. They don't want it. Keep playing hard, fellas.
And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it and intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Snags it for the pick, and they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. So after the INT, it's Manning to Shepard, complete over the middle. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down. They need a touchdown, the 2-point conversion, and a field goal. Pretty good start to the drive, though.
Yeah, good start to the drive, but the urgency has to really be increased by both the players on the field and everyone on the sidelines. Got to make sure everyone is up and into this game.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
Zebra.
Manning to throw on 2nd down. Finding his target, it's Cody Latimer. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Zebra.
Manning going to try and throw on 3rd down. It's caught. Shepard. And a quick slant gets exactly 10. And by the nose of the football, they've got a 1st down. Into the red zone now. Manning. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by M.J. Stewart. And they'll have the football, but deep in their own territory as he's brought down at the 5.
Well, you're trailing. It's the 4th quarter, and you've got to throw the football. But the defense knows this, too. So they're just going to sit back, bring in an extra defensive back or two, the old nickel or dime strategy, Brandon, and wait for you to put that bad boy up for grabs. And this one winds up being intercepted.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Turnover that just got him the football back, obviously a big one, because had they been able to score on the other side, this would have been a one-possession game.
So you don't sense full relief here, then?
No, I don't, especially with the ball this deep in their own territory, because you make a mistake, they've got it right back in prime position.
They certainly do. So now, almost like a 4-minute offense, right? Take care of this bad boy. Make sure the other team doesn't touch it, but move it with consistent gains. Wear down the clock and make them use their timeouts in this situation.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. back near his own goal line. Winston.
Now this is where field awareness comes into play. He's getting perilously close to his own goal line, and after that sack, backed up to his own 2.
Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Now a give. This is the fullback, Ripkowski. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
I'm not sure how much I really love that call. It almost seems like a little bit of a give up there. But maybe what they were thinking is, we've got a chance to pop one. They think we're just going to give up here, hand it to the big man, and maybe he can get through. Sometimes there's a little bit of courage in play calling that maybe we don't give enough credit.
And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's gotten off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Mitch Unrein in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line. He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
From his end zone, it's Manning on 3rd and long. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Manning. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Justin Evans. And they're going to get the football just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the 4th quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, 4th quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. And the movement there coming from the middle of the line.
And you understand he wants to get off the ball quickly, but the ball's right in front of him. He has to watch it move first.
After the penalty, it's Jones. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this 4th quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the 4th quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done because...
And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now in the ball game for Jameis Winston. And the Bucs capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Eli Manning and company getting set here as they head back onto the field. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
And now here's another interception. The first pick of M.J. Stewart's career. And he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
His throw caught at about the 5. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up first and goal. Here's Winston. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Alec Ogletree in there with pressure yet again, and that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon. It's second and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Tampa Bay, it's a rare victory for them as they get that record back to 3-7. And they'll return home next week to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they suffer their 4th loss so far. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head
Set the standards in the tear down.
back. Yeah, I'm born to. It's dark and it's hot, so leave me where I'm at. I'm living how I want now. No reason to doubt. It's clear to see. All eyes on me, 400 degrees. Who am I? Ruthless. Easy does it. In public, hate it or love it. The underdogs with liquor swabs. It was written in my diary to start a war. I'm feeling infamous, immortal with my technique. A revolutionary shining with diamond teeth. Young Don Cartagena, excuse my demeanor. This the glamour life, you still not a player. You ain't half as nice. I'm born again, life after death. I made the sacrifice, I'm super duper fly. Used to keep them hypnotized. I said my name is Juice, America's most. Ain't no half stepping. See you at the crossroads.
Money over on my install. Here lies young, getting paid for. Never take a loss on my install. Only take a when I'm dead. I'm gang 3 times on my install. Been from the cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on the install. Too late, you already lived. It was written in the children's story. Their life's a so what you want? Every day I struggle with it. Only God could tell me slipping. I'm infinitely big through the genesis. Dead presidents, drop a gem on them. On earth, these the last days. Throw your get money. Quiet storm, have it stars. For the cream, renegade. For the money, only green is the. I'm a player on the late night till. So these see the prototype. Fingertips, reservoir dog. To the skull, ignorant. Can I live? Still feel me, kiss to death, friend protect your neck. 3 boys in the Cadillac, grave digger, kiss to death, friend protect your neck. Shame on the 3 boys in the Cadillac, grave digger. Money over my install. Here lies young, getting paid for. Never take a loss on my install. Only take a when I'm dead. I'm gang 3 times on my install. Been from the cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on the install. Right now I'm on the edge, so don't push me. Troublesome to 96. You a shook one, Reeves and all the ledge. I'm your, what's that? I smell. Let me count my, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, run. Hi, my name is Dirk Cobain. Like a, here I go to the next episode. Ain't no damn this explosive Beast Coast. Yeah. The mother ride or die for my, strictly for my survival of the fittest. That's the sound of the police. I'm in deep cover earth, skirt, lean back. Give me one more chance. They say Jesus walks and the devil wear Prada, but I'm so deaf. God can't tell me nothing. Right is on my death certificate. I gave you power. 21 questions like who? The warning. Watch them flashing like paparazzi. 2 words. Get money. Tonight's the night. Guess who's back on my block? Rather unique. This on that quiet storm, T-O-N-Y, top of New York with a pitch.